Now, once the athletic shoe manufacturers convinced us paying $20 to $125, somewhere around there, for a pair of athletic shoes was an okay thing, they needed to figure out how to keep us consumers interested in buying their products. Well, they developed colors and fabrics and zippers on them and all kinds of things. And sure enough, we stayed interested to the tune of $3.5 billion. So what's next? Well, something called energy return. I'm certainly not going to try to explain it. Rick Bunch, Converse biomechanical engineer, will explain it. He's the guy who developed it. What is an energy wave? And I know everybody at home is thinking you probably stand up like this and wave like a ballpark, and that's your energy wave. No.
That really captures the enthusiasm that we have for energy wave, Gail, actually. What the feature is a way to extend the life of the cushioning in the shoe, which is an injury prevention feature, as well as give the athlete an extra little spring with each stride, rather like a trampoline inside the shoe.
Now, what fascinates me is that you can make something that will do that.
Well, it's fascinating, but it wasn't as easy as it sounds.
Okay.
It was actually about a 3-year research and development project that led to the feature that we call the Converse Energy Wave today in sports shoes.
Now, did they say to you, look, Rick, you need to figure this out. You need to sit. I mean, what was the impetus for doing that?
There's been a lot of research in a scientific field called biomechanics about how best to tune not only sports shoes, but all athletic equipment to better react to the body's needs and tendencies in sport. And this energy return technology is an extension from that fundamental research in biomechanics.
All right, so we don't want to tell them what the, well, I can't tell them because I don't know, but you have developed an item that we can see in the cross-section of the shoe here. And I'm going to point it to this camera. We've got a little foot in there so you can see. That blue section is what you're talking about, right? That blue portion, like right here.
There are inserts in both the rear portion of the shoe as well as in the forefoot of the shoe. Each of these sections has a different function. In the rear foot, you're primarily concerned as an engineer with cushioning the foot because this is the strike point in running. And that feature is an injury prevention feature. In the forefoot of the shoe, on the other hand...
Okay, here, we'll move this so they can see a little better.
What you would like is a section that allows the spring to come back to the bones in the forefoot and not only protect it from injury, but give that extra little bounce in the stride, very much, again, like a trampoline. So as you push off on the forefoot, you would like the energy wave material to give you an extra little push and help you conserve energy.
All right, to give folks an idea of the kind of testing of this particular material, we've got a little videotape here where you can see that it's in the section of a shoe and it's actually being battered there. I don't know what sort of weight we're talking about to I guess, measure how much abuse this can take and how quickly it comes back.
Yeah, in this case, this is a mechanical test that we've devised to help us monitor the cushioning level in the shoe. And while we're talking as the energy return as the primary benefit for energy wave, this is actually a very important point that the cushioning lasts the whole life of the shoe because conventional shoe materials break down very early in the life of the shoe. So again, the longevity of that cushioning is very important to prevent injury.
Now, in a moment here, we're going to see a graph where I guess the folks at Converse actually sat down and calculated, there you go, the energy return, energy input, conventional versus what you're talking about here.
Exactly. You see in a conventional system that you have a very low amount of energy return. And depending on what the comparison is, the Converse Energy Wave system can return as much as 20 to 77% more energy with every stride.
So folks so they won't think we're just sitting here just rattling off numbers. You have athletes wearing shoes with this energy wave, energy return system in them.
Yes, energy return itself is a very subjective element to measure. So the best way to accomplish a feedback on whether the system is working or not is to actually ask athletes what they feel about the shoe. And in every case, whether it be wear testers or endorsers like Jimmy Connors and Chris Everett, they report more spring in the shoe and that they actually feel less fatigued after wearing the shoe for their sport.
Do the shoes hold up better?
Testimonial.
They last better?
Yes. What's very important is that in running shoes, the midsoles in traditional shoes are actually worn out long before the wear is obvious on the outsoles. And with the new energy wave materials, now the midsoles will last as long as every other component in the shoe.
Is your technology going to make shoes more expensive?
It does. Technology is not free in this case, and it is the extension of a very long R&D program, which costs money. But the value added is the extended life of the shoe, midsole, and there are energy wave features in products ranging from $50 to over $100.
So it depends on what you want.
Exactly.
Okay, and what you're willing to pay for. All right, good deal. Interesting. I guess folks will see these on the market. And thanks for stopping by to talk about it.
You're welcome.
Now, from WNEV in Boston, this is News 7 New England.
Sneakers, they're one of the hottest segments of the retail industry. From the aerobics class to the basketball court and the Boston Marathon, sneakers have moved from a fashion statement to an athletic necessity. Americans buy 100 million pairs a year, and the competition among sneaker companies is intense.
Now Reebok has developed the energy return system.
The competition for market share is evident from advertising, the most intense and expensive in industry history.
It's not just magic. It's you.
Converse Vice President Steve Encarnacio.
So you're seeing nuances in position, you're seeing promises that probably weren't there a year ago. But what you're seeing is a dogfight to capture the hearts and minds of teenagers.
To do that, sneaker companies are using high technology. In Converse's biomechanics lab, sneakers are tested for ankle support and fabric endurance in search for the competitive edge.
What we're looking to accomplish are improvements in reducing the risk of injury to athletes, as well as a chance to increase their efficiency of performance.
Chronicle, the New England news magazine.
On Monday, the race to the finish will be a race between shoe companies who promise runners everything from a springier step to energy return. What better test than the Boston Marathon, when more than 6,000 entrants and twice as many sneakers hit the pavement. Two local companies, Reebok and Converse, are in the thick of the battle. And it's a battle where strategy, technology, and terminology seem as sophisticated as Star Wars.
Our development cycle starts with human subjects research in the court area of the lab. We would continue through prototyping of shoe features which our engineers decide are important for sports performance and testing of those prototypes.
Converse's lab is a gym with a section of the floor replaced by what's called a force plate.
What it does for us is allow us to measure the total force that exists when an athlete performs sport between the shoe and the ground. The forefoot actually strikes the ground first. We have an initial force. Then the heel strikes down very quickly after that, and we have a very high shock wave that's transmitted to the athlete.
The force plate studies tell something about the way a shoe performs on a single jump. But what about how well the shoe will last? Converse has special equipment to get a handle on that too.
We have actually two test machines which are testing for cushioning. One is a machine which simply cycles continuously, which we use to build up mileage on the shoe and synthesize what an athlete would do when he or she runs in the shoe. We have another which is designed to test the amount of energy which is returned from the midsole to the athlete.
So what's the best shoe? The one that stands up in or on the court.